Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Chris Horner. Today is stage 2 of Paris-Nice 2024. 177 kilometers, and nothing is going to happen on today's race. If you've got time to watch it, you certainly want to watch the last 15 or at least the last 10 because it's going to be exciting at the finish, so stay tuned. But the first part, a couple small KOMs. Matthew Bergerdow end up beating out Jonas Roach there from EF Education, so he'll be wearing the polka dot jersey at the end of today's stage. But other than that, nothing really happened except for this incredibly, absolutely ugly time trial helmet from Visma Lease Bike. Guys, it looks like Jawa sand crawlers there from Star Wars. And for some reason, some of the teams like EF Education and now Visma just love to go with a Star Wars effect for their TT helmet. Because let's put the new helmet there from Visma and the Star Wars Sandcrawler up there. They look identical. I don't know if there's something about the Star Wars films that give all of the manufacturers here that do helmets some kind of incentive to make something super aerodynamic straight out of Star Wars. But I wouldn't want this thing on my head ever. It looks that bad. But supposedly they're already racing it at Trino Adriatico. So we might see it in tomorrow's team time trial, most likely. Something else to laugh about, though, for sure, when it comes to the team time trial helmets. In the stage, nothing happened until 50 kilometers to go, where there's a time bonus sprint. Once we get to the time bonus sprint, you see Bora Hansgrohe on the left, Trek is on the right, and once you see the Bora Hansgrohe guys looking over at Trek, you see the Trek rider jump up on his pedals going full gas. Now it's a bit of a drag race between Bora and Trek, but Trek take the lead. Bora's Danny Van Poppel does some bumping there with Mateo Skilmos. Just behind Mateo Skilmos, that's Mads Pedersen. Mads Pedersen sees Danny bumping his little climber there hard, so Mads Pedersen comes up full hard with the elbow into Danny Van Poppel and almost crashes him. Now, when I was watching Peacock, Bob Roll, I don't know what he's thinking, but he says Mads Pedersen didn't do this on purpose. It looked like it was on accident. It was 100% on purpose. Mads Pedersen saw Danny Van Poppel pushing his little guy around and went up there to deliver a message, and he did, and both riders almost went down. Now up front, we see Trek. They're going full gas. Skilmos is there. We see Mads Pedersen there, and of course, Danny Van Poppel. Mads Pedersen takes over the lead. He's flying all the way up to the time bonus sprint of 6:4 and 2 seconds on today's stage sprint here. And as we see Mads Pedersen going full gas, the only problem is he's going too hard for his little climber there, Skilmos. Skilmos can't quite come by Mads Pedersen, but on the right side of Mads Pedersen, Danny Van Poppel's going full gas. Now here, this is getting a little tricky right here because Mads Pedersen might just be seeing green on the right side of him and think that's Primoz Roglic, or he just thinks that I'm a winner, I got to win today's sprint line here. Either way, he makes a mistake. Danny Van Poppel comes across the line first. Mads Pedersen second as he's dragging the brakes at the last minute, trying to hold up for Skilmos to get a 4-second bonus. Now, in my mind, when I'm looking at this and I'm hearing it on Peacock, Bob Rolls is lost. He honestly thought Mads Pedersen had lost some form and dropped in fitness instead of hitting the brakes, when it's clear to see they're doing a lead out there for some time bonuses for Skilmos. But when I'm sitting there on the Chesterfield, I'm lost on just the strategy that Trek is employing right here, because if Mads Pedersen wins the sprint, he can get himself in the race leader's yellow jersey. Now, what's the chance of Skilmos winning the overall classification with an extra 4-second bonus? I don't know if that's too high, but the race leader's yellow jersey, that's got to be pretty high chances if Mads Pedersen's still on form like we saw yesterday in stage 1. Either way, 2-second bonus there for the general classification for Skilmos. 4 right there, that'll tie him up with the race leader's yellow jersey of Olaf Koy on the virtual lead here on stage 2 of Paris-Nice, but we still got a sprint finish. Now, nothing really happens after that until we're into about 20 kilometers to go. Starts picking up space. It's a little bit side to side, curb to curb there action, and things are getting interesting. We get under about 13 kilometers to go, and Arkea Samsic's going full gas, trying to take the lead here for Arnaud Demart. They come into the next left turn there, and his lead-out man right in front, Alswin, he crashes. Lucas, as he crashes, he'll get up, but his chain's off his bike. Now, this guy's over 30 years of age, and he doesn't know to look down to see if your chain's off your bike. Kind of an inexperienced thing here to do, but he's all angry because the cars have passed him up and he's getting left behind as Arkea Samsic's leading this stage 2 Paris-Nice up front with about 10 kilometers to go. Now, when we start looking at 9 kilometers to go, you see Olaf Koy from Visma Lease Bike in the splendid race leader's yellow jersey in a good position still. 7 kilometers to go, he's still in a good position. 6, he's still near the front and in good position. 5, the road gets wide and we see Olaf Koy still in good position, and Arnold DeLee's Arkea Samsic team's going full gas because at 4.5 kilometers to go, there's a hard left with a bridge followed by a right that'll exit onto an incredibly wide road. Arkea Samsic's at the front. They're going full gas on the right side of the road. Then DSM come up the left side of the road. Look as they're coming up left with about 3.5 kilometers to go, how wide the road is. It's like 20 wide. Now we look at the race leader's yellow jersey, and we'll see he's still in good position. Up front, now things are getting crazy with just about 3 kilometers to go. As we see, it's Jaco Lula on the front. 2 riders, that's Durbridge and Luka Mezgits, and they're going full gas on the front. Only problem is they don't have their sprinter, Dylan Groenewegen, one of the best sprinters in the world. He's further back and a little lost and tangled up back there in the middle of the group. As he's fighting his way out, we're getting under about 2.5 kilometers to go, and once we get into about 2.2, look at the right side of the road as everything has moved back to the right. It's two-door cycling on the front. That's Italian Leadout train right there from Matteo Trentin, who used to ride for UAE team members, and he's got 3 Dutchies on his wheel. Now he's got Rick on his wheel, Rick Plumer, and he's got Michael Zieglow followed by Arvid de Klein. Now Arvid de Klein's their sprinter sitting 4th wheel. As we see up front, Matteo Trentin, he's going full gas. Guys, out of the saddle, pushing everything he can because he knows at 1.3 the road's going to narrow and possibly have a roundabout. Now with that full gas there from Matteo Trentin, he's moving everything over to the left side of the road. This is going to pinch everybody that was already on the left, and those are good sprinters back there that were Dylan Groenewegen back there and the race leader's yellow jersey on the left side of the road. As Matteo Trentin goes left, he sits up and blows, and it's time for Rick Plumer from Two Door Cycling to take over. Rick takes over, going full gas. Now look at the ping-pong effect from Matteo Trentin as he's bouncing left to right off rider's shoulders all over the place, trying to keep his bike up. Look at the race leader's yellow jersey. He's going to hold up Olaf Koy just enough there as the road pinches up into 1.3 kilometers to go. What should have been a roundabout, but the organizers narrowed it all up. It's almost a straight road. As Two Door Cycling won the battle coming out of the narrow, supposedly roundabout, they got 3 riders up the front with Rick, Michael, and Arvid de Klein, their sprinter, sitting 3rd wheel. Now they're going full gas. And when we look over to the left side of the road, as the road starts to widen up again, it's Visma Lisa bike Eduardo Affini. He's coming fast at 1.1 kilometer to go. As he reaches the red banner right there, the Flamme Rouge, all of a sudden he's taking over the front here. Full gas. Danny Van Poppel is sitting 3rd wheel. 2nd on the wheels, Jasper Stuyvens from Trek. Now we go back to the 4th and 5th and 6th wheels. Well, back there, that's Two Door Cycling. We see it's Mads Pedersen, and he's not using his man Jasper Stuyvens, who's sitting 2nd. He's using Gibbons back there. That's Ryan Gibbons, the South African, just in front of him. But they're still sitting in solid position. Just behind them, Lawrence Pithy from FDJ. Eduardo Affini, he flies into the 800-meter right turn full gas. Comes out of this, guys, at 700 meters to go. He's got this peloton, stellar peloton here at Paris-Nice, strung out all down the road, single file, as Eduardo Affini's like, guys, I wasn't there yesterday, but I'm going full gas. The only problem is, I told you, at 1.4 kilometers, when Matteo Trentin pulled off, he took the Visma Lisa bike rider back there, the race leader here at Paris-Nice, out of the picture. And Eduardo Affini, when I take you back to 1.1 and he takes over the front, he doesn't have any teammates. And race leader Olaf Koy is nowhere in the picture, but now at 700 meters to go, it's strung out. If he looked once over his shoulder, which I didn't see him do, he would know his teammates are nowhere near him and he'd back off the throttle. But Eduardo Affini is a time trial specialist and blowing this field up. 600 meters to go, maybe about 5. It's Jasper Stuyvens. He realizes that I got to see where my man Mads Pedersen is. So he looks over his shoulder, even though Eduardo Affini doesn't. He pulls out to the left, looks back, realizes he doesn't need to be second wheel anymore as he opens up the gap. That means Danny Van Poppel from Bora Hansgrohe's got to go full gas with just about 400 meters to go to close up onto Eduardo Affini's wheel. On his wheel is 2 two-door cycling riders. The first one's Michael Zieglow, and the second is Arvid de Klein, sitting 4th wheel now. We see up front as the peloton's going wide again. Finally, we see that the Italian rider from Visma Lisa bike is starting to blow. He's backing off. Everything is starting to come to the left side as it's starting to come up fast. And we see Ryan Gibbons going full gas trying to get Mads Pedersen up with a shot here of winning the stage and taking the race leader's jersey at Paris-Nice. He can't go that far though, and Mads is going to have to make the decision to go back hard over to the right side. Up front, Danny Van Poppel starting his sprint with about 320 meters to go. Just before he started his sprint though, let's back it up just a little bit. Michael Ziegler from Two Door Cycling. He thought his legs were done as he sits up and he's waving Arvid de Klein to come up here and close the wheel of Danny Van Poppel. Arvid de Klein can't because we see he's getting bunched in as the Italian rider Edoardo Fini's coming back through the group. It's causing him with no place to open, so he's yelling in the ear there for Michael Ziegler to go full gas. Michael punches it hard. He goes to the left, somehow finding some extra energy here with about 300 meters to go. Danny Van Poppel's on the front. He started his sprint, like I said, at 320, now 300. All of a sudden, Ziegler's going full gas, and Arvid de Klein's locked on his wheel. Arvid de Klein will make the wise decision as Ziegler's legs are starting to fall off, but left him open to switch back over to Danny Van Poppel's wheel at 250 meters to go. 200 meters, Danny Van Poppel still leading for Bora Hansgrohe. 150, it's time, of course, for Arvid de Klein to throw on the afterburners. He kicks in, about 125, 100 meters to go. He's pulling up side by side. 50 meters there, he's starting to take the lead from Danny Van Poppel. And at the finish, he wins today stage 2 from a bike length from the FDJ rider Lawrence Plithy, who will take the race leader's yellow jersey. And guess who got third? That's Dylan Groenewegen. Dylan Groenewegen did a fantastic ride here on stage 2. Bob Roll said he looked like he's losing a little bit of spark, but I don't think so. When I take you back to the pictures, when his teammates were on the front with about 3 kilometers to go and he was lost back there, guys, he did massive power back there for Jaco Lula, Dylan Groenewegen, to get himself up here on the podium of today's stage. And Lawrence Pithy, if I back the film up and show you how spectacular he thinks he was, going through all the argy-bargy and then making his way back over there, the Arvid de Klein's wheel, taking it all the way to the line to get himself a race leader's yellow jersey here at Paris-Nice for the French team. FDJ's Marc Madio, the director sportif, has got to be losing his hair right now. Now, after today's stage, when I break up the tactics, Jaco Lula pulling on the front. You guys are a couple knuckleheads there because you didn't have your man with you, Dylan Groenewegen. And the sprint back there from Trek, when we're talking about 50 kilometers to go at the sprint time bonus, man, Mads Pedersen, if you'd just gone for the sprint, you'd be in the race leader's yellow jersey at the finish of today's stage 2, but you decided not to. So you don't get the yellow, and Lawrence Pithy does. Great stage on today's finish, great sprint finish, but you don't need to watch anything except for the last 10K because it's a pretty good sleeper with the exception of that sprint with 50 kilometers to go. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next edition real soon.